The movie kicks off as an unnamed man commits the unthinkable from the top of a building. Surprisingly, a camera is seen recording him, and millions of people are watching him online. It appears as if he was a part of the notorious Red Room that is only found in the dark web. Following this, we are introduced to a young couple, Vivaan and Siya, who are on their way to Fiji on a business-class flight. They will be spending a week in a luxurious 5-star resort, with the most lavish of arrangements money can buy. But surprisingly, from the couple's conversation, we get to know that both of them are unemployed and have been looking for a job desperately. Now, the question arises, how are they affording such an expensive vacation? Well, it turns out that they participated in a lottery and won the first prize, which is a paid trip to Fiji. In the next scene, the couple arrives at Fiji, and they are escorted to their hotel. It is a beautiful place that is surrounded by lush greenery and blue seas. Vivaan and Siya are over the moon to have been selected for such an exotic opportunity. Hence, for the first few days, they spend their time eating, making love, and even busting out a few Bollywood numbers. From time to time, Vivaan also checks his email to see if he has received any job offers, but every time he is left disappointed. In this way, 5 days pass by in a jiffy, but on the 6th, the room service guy arrives at their door with a bouquet of flowers. He asks them to get dressed and come to the dining area, saying, "We have planned something special for you." It turns out today is the couple's 10th anniversary. Vivaan is shocked as to how the resort guys knew about it, but Siya doesn't think much of it and asks him to get ready. After a while, the couple puts on their fancy suits and reaches the dining area, where they are greeted with traditional music. There is also a lovely cake and some wine put in place of them. Seeing all this, Vivaan gets emotional and starts ranting about his useless life. However, he promises to give Siya all the happiness and the luxuries that she deserves. His emotional outburst is interrupted when a shady-looking man approaches them from behind. He is Mr. Khan, the manager of the resort, and the one who invited the couple here. He immediately wins the couple's trust by cracking some corny jokes, and then takes them to the bar for a few drinks. There, Mr. Khan reveals that the resort is famous for hosting a bi-monthly game called Table No.21, in which only married couples can participate. The game will be live telecasted to a large number of audience across the world. He then asks Vivaan and Siya if they would like to try it out. The rules are very simple. Mr. Khan will ask them a set of 8 yes/no questions, which will be related to their personal lives. After each question, they will be given a particular task. The second rule is that once they participate, they cannot abandon the game in the middle. And the final rule is that they cannot use the assistance of an outsider. Mr. Khan also reiterates the phrase, "If you lie, you will die." Vivaan is intrigued by the weird game, and he inquires if there's any reward if they win. To their shock, Mr. Khan reveals that it is 21 crore rupees. Hence, without any hesitation, the couple accepts the challenge, as they are sure Mr. Khan doesn't know much about their personal lives. They also believe that it is the perfect opportunity to earn some cash and sort out their miserable lives. Following this, the couple is brought to another room, where they are made to sign some agreement papers. They are also strapped with a lie detector bracelet that glows red and green when someone is lying or telling the truth respectively. Then, several cameras are fitted in the room, and Mr. Khan reveals that about 6 million people in the world will be watching. This makes the couple a bit nervous. However, after a small chat, they are ready to go. For the first question, Mr. Khan asks Vivaan if he is comfortable making out with his wife in public. The latter says no and his bracelet turns green. Mr. Khan congratulates them, and asks them to make out in the busiest street in the city. This is the second part of the task, and if they successfully complete it, they will win 1 crore rupees. Unsurprisingly, the couple does it without any hesitation. When they return back to the resort, Vivaan complains that the task was too easy. He believes that everything is a joke, and that there is no reward for winning it. In reply, Mr. Khan opens a room, which is stacked with a shitload of cash. At the same time, Vivaan checks his phone and learns that the 1 crore rupees has already been credited to his account. This elates the couple, and they get ready to face off the remaining challenges. For the second question, Mr. Khan asks Siya if she believes her husband knows her well. She replies with a firm no, which turns out to be the correct answer. Vivaan is slightly annoyed as he thought he knew everything about his wife. After this, Siya is asked to complete a task. She will have to consume a dish which is made up of cooked insects. Vivaan, who knows that his wife is a vegetarian, becomes scared that they will lose the challenge, and ultimately the prize money. But to his surprise, Siya begins munching on the insects, hence winning 2 crore rupees for them. This proves that Vivaan in fact doesn't know much about Siya. In the third question, Mr. Khan challenges Vivaan to manipulate him in any way. The latter, being a smart guy, does it effortlessly. However, it is evident that Mr. Khan wanted them to proceed to the next stage. In the fourth question, he asks Vivaan if he can do anything to save his wife. The latter says yes, and his bracelet glows green. As for the task, Siya is locked in an airtight chamber, which has a limited amount of oxygen. There is only one way for Vivaan to get her out. He will have to draw 500 milliliters of his own blood. This shocks Vivaan as he has always been scared of blood. Vivaan pleads with Mr. Khan that he cannot complete the challenge, and that they simply want to go home. At this point, he doesn't even care about the money. However, Mr. Khan makes it clear that the timer has already started. In the next 7 minutes, the oxygen inside the chamber will run out, and Siya will suffocate to death. Hearing this, Vivaan mans up and gets ready to face his worst phobia. He somehow gathers some courage and manages to draw out the required amount of blood, hence freeing his wife. After the narrow escape, the couple realizes that the questions and tasks that they are being given are not ordinary after all. Mr. Khan already knew about their weaknesses, like Siya hates non-vegetarian food, and Vivaan is scared of blood. Hence, they decide to abandon the game and head back to the airport. The couple gets on a boat and tries to get away, but after a while, the bracelets on their hands start beeping. Then, Mr. Khan talks through the boat's speaker, revealing that if they try to violate the second rule of table No.21, i.e. abandoning the game, the bracelets in their hands will explode and kill them. Hearing this, the couple reluctantly heads back to the resort. Now, it's time for the fifth question. Mr. Khan asks Vivaan if he will love his wife the same, even if she goes bald. Vivaan replies with a resounding yes, and the lie detector turns green, much to the relief of Siya. However, when she hears the task, she is almost brought to tears. Vivaan is ordered to shave her hair and make her bald right now. This obviously doesn't sit well with Siya, and she pleads with her husband to not go through with it. However, with victory very close, Vivaan doesn't want to take any chances. So, he calms her down, grabs the trimmer, and shaves her hair. Now, the couple has won 5 crore rupees. In the sixth question, it is Vivaan's turn yet again. He is asked if he has ever raised hands on his wife. With this, the movie goes into a flashback. Siya has just gotten an abortion because of their weak economic condition. She believes that they won't be able to raise their baby in a proper way. However, Vivaan thinks otherwise. He is angry that this decision was taken without his consultation. So, in a fit of rage, he smacks his wife. Back in the present, Vivaan hesitantly says yes, and the bracelet glows green. For the task, Mr. Khan brings out a sound meter, which has a scale up to 120 decibels. He then asks Siya to slap her husband as hard as she can, and reach the end limit of the sound meter. Siya doesn't want to hit her innocent husband for no reason, but since their lives are on the line, she has to do it. She starts off with a few soft slaps, and then some hard ones. Ultimately, she manages to hit 120 decibels on the sound meter, at the expense of her husband's cheeks. At this point, the couple have started regretting their arrival in Fiji. They wish they had never won the lottery. Nonetheless, They get ready for the sixth question, and Mr. Khan asks Vivaan if he has ever assaulted someone. He answers with a yes, which is true, because Vivaan was a hardcore bully at school. Following this, Mr. Khan hands him a hockey stick and orders him to vandalize a certain car parked outside. The car belongs to someone who is not a part of the game. Reluctantly, Vivaan heads outside and begins smashing the car as if it belongs to his ex-girlfriend. But as he is about to leave, the owners of the car arrive and tackle him to the ground. Vivaan somehow runs away and meets a cop. He then discloses everything, including how they are being forced to play a deadly game that is being broadcasted across the world. However, before he could give out more details, Mr. Khan's men arrive and take him away in their car. Once they return to the resort, Mr. Khan chastises Vivaan for breaking the third rule. He tried to interact with an outsider, the cop. So as a punishment, Siya has been taken to a club, dressed as an escort. Mr. Khan further explains that she has been tied to a pole, and one by one, her clothes are being stripped. The whole thing is being broadcasted live on television. Mr. Khan then hands Vivaan the club's address, telling him to save his wife if he can. Wasting no time, Vivaan rushes to the place, and arrives in the nick of time as Siya is about to be stripped of her last cloth. He then fights off a macho guy and eventually frees his wife. After returning to the resort, the couple begs to be let go, but Mr. Khan says that it's not possible. Instead, he starts revealing the specifics of table number 21. It turns out that Vivaan and Siya weren't chosen randomly. In fact, a very thorough research was conducted on their lives. Because they were struggling financially and had a lot of secrets among them, they were chosen as the winners and given an all-paid vacation to this resort. Mr. Khan then apologizes for the inconvenience, but asserts that it is just business. He then asks them to get ready for the final question. If they win, they will be 21 crores richer. In the next scene, Mr. Khan starts briefing about the last challenge. Since it is the finale, 8 rapid-fire questions will be asked, each is worth 2 crores. At the end of it, they will be given one single task. The catch is that they will have to answer each question incorrectly. Siya is chosen for it. She doesn't want to go through with it, but Vivaan reminds her that they have no other choice. Soon, the game begins and Mr. Khan starts bombarding Siya with rapid-fire questions. She answers 7 of them correctly, and it all goes down to the final question. To the couple's horror, Mr. Khan asks if she has ever slept with another man, even after their marriage. Siya, who has to give the wrong answer, hesitantly says yes, and surprisingly, the bracelet turns green. This reveals that she did have an extramarital affair. Vivaan's expression suddenly changes, and Siya starts screaming that the machine is lying. However, Mr. Khan clears everything by a simple trick. He takes Siya's phone and texts her boss, who she supposedly had ketis with. To Vivaan's dismay, the boss replies in a very seductive manner, indicating that his wife did cheat on him. Finally, Siya comes clean that at the time, she was about to be fired, and the only way to convince her boss was by doing it. Now that the game is over, Mr. Khan brings out a gun and says that Siya will have to die because she has spoken a lie. Vivaan, despite having his heart broken, does not want to see the love of his life pass away. Hence, he pleads with Mr. Khan to find an alternative, and the latter gives them an option. If Siya is to be saved, Vivaan will have to take the life of another person of his choosing. The courageous husband immediately accepts the proposal. After this, the couple is escorted inside a room, where a mentally unstable man is present. He is the target that has to be killed. Vivaan goes near him with a gun, and gets shocked to learn that it is Akram, his friend from high school. Here, we get to know that Akram was mercilessly bullied by Vivaan, Siya, and their friends during high school. The bullying left such a deep scar in his mind that he has still not recovered from it. This devastates Vivaan, and he hesitates to pull the trigger. When Mr. Khan threatens to kill his wife, Vivaan attempts to commit the unthinkable, but to his surprise, there's no bullets in the gun. Finally, Mr. Khan reveals that Akram is his son, and he did all this to get back at the bullies. Now that Vivaan and Siya have learnt their lessons, they are free to go. The movie ends as the couple returns to their hotel room and contemplates their life choices. Mr. Khan has broken them from inside, and it is evident that they will never be the same again.